Welcome back to another episode of the Buffalo Happy Hour. Mike, we're here for round 2.
Yes, round 2s. And luckily you gave me a pen that matches my shirt, unplanned. Yeah. So
no, it was planned. I watched you get dressed this morning.
Perfect.
I hope people can hear this.
Except this is like the third time I changed and showered today, so it's fine.
Why? What'd you do?
A bunch of stuff, but yeah, just errands, gym, family time. So
Family time?
family time.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, so just doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
But we're good. So
Is there anything yesterday that we didn't get to talk about? Because I know that yesterday you said that we had so much to talk about, but we wanted to wait until today. So is there anything before we dive into the meat and potatoes of this week's episode that you wanted to touch on or no?
No, we should be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, thank everybody. This is our 104th episode, which means
Wow, I don't
happy
know.
birthday, bud.
I don't know what that was.
That was one of those things.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those birthday whistle things. What are they
Streamer
called?
thing? I don't know. They're weird.
They like unfold like a fruit roll up and then they go back. That makes me uncomfortable. If they just stood out there, it might be even weirder. But if they just stood out there, I probably would be more inclined to use them more often, right?
Think of the germs inside that tube.
Oh, 100%. Well, did you share it though?
I mean, some people did, yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Were you like
A germaphobe?
Did you ever? No, like, well, yeah, I already know that answer. But did you ever want to play like an oboe or a saxophone or something?
No.
When you were younger?
No. It was drums for me. I wanted to be as loud as humanly possible.
Oboes and saxophones can get just as loud as drums can. But those reeds,
Yeah.
those are disgusting, bro.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, you might as well just smoke next to your 1-year-old, you know? It's the same level of disgusting. But
yeah, it's a disaster. Like, have you ever seen one of them after they're used? It's like a used popsicle stick that's already splintering.
can we please move on so I don't get sick? It's so gross.
But yeah, so it's our birthday. 2 years. Look at that.
Yeah, we're here.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
No clue, apparently, because our lights can't figure it out either. But it's fine.
No, they're figuring it out.
Yeah, yours just blinked.
I don't know. It looks like we got an ocean over here next to us, but yeah, 2 years, man. That's wild.
Yes,
It came up quick.
it has. And now we're inside of a studio surrounded by products that we've never thought we would enjoy or fully understand at all.
Or have the money to purchase and keep on hand at all times.
We still don't,
Correct.
but that's fine. So, but yeah, we're good. All this is rented. None of these are full. This actually isn't ours. We borrowed it from someone.
Yeah, so let's get to our sponsors. Addie's. No. If you were around for the last year when we did our first year birthday, we kind of did a comparison, a side-by-side comparison of where we were when we started and where we were at that point.
Yes.
And even then, like now, think of it as then, now, and then our first episode. Like how much it's changed in 2 years.
It's kind
Wild,
of insane,
bro.
the evolution that we have gone through, but I'm excited because we're still evolving every single day.
Yeah, and it's all stubborn evolution, too. Like, normally you evolve as you get money and you get paid for stuff, but we're just like, let's just do it.
Correct.
Because no one's going to take us seriously if we're still at a folding table, you know?
Well, but yeah, I mean, we just outgrew certain things, that's all. And now we're here, and now we're crushing.
Hell yeah.
So, what is going on?
Yeah.
I don't know if people can see it. They might be able to, but we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 glasses in front of us that are full with a tasting pour. Not a full pour, but a tasting pour.
Yeah, because we're not trying to get sloshed today.
Yeah.
I mean, we might, but...
we'll figure it out.
So, at the 52nd episode...
Yeah.
For our 1 year birthday, we did a tasting of bourbon. Didn't go very well, to be honest. I think we got 1 out of 5 right.
1 or 2.
Yeah, I think it was 1.
We were
almost
fine.
positive it was 1.
We were fine.
So then, for this year, we're like, let's do it again, but make it easier on us. So we were going to do a rye, a scotch, a bourbon, like just completely different variations of whiskey. And I'm like, that's too easy. Like, we're better than that. We've been doing this for 103 whiskey reviews. We're better than, is this a rye or a scotch? Like, duh, we should know that.
And we do know that.
We do know that. So, instead of going that easy, I went scotches. Now, I'm on record to say I think scotch is better than bourbon for many reasons, but there's more complex tasting notes between different single malts and scotches, and we have a Japanese whiskey and we have an Irish whiskey over here. So what we have in front of us are 5 different whiskeys from outside of the U.S. 3 of them are scotches, 1 of them is Japanese, and 1 of them is an Irish. And we're going to be sipping them throughout the show. Now, as we sip them, Mike and I will talk. We'll pause briefly, talk about the first one, what we're sipping, what we're tasting, what we're getting on the nose, and talk through our collective understanding of what each one is. It's going to be more of an interactive one than the 1 year was. The 1 year was like a test between who can get more right, me or you. But this one is going to be more of an informative.
And we tied.
Right. This is going to be more informative to tell you guys how we go about our nose and our tasting process to determine which one these are. So it'll be a little bit better for everybody to listen to rather than it just be, okay, I got it, next one.
Faux
It's
show.
going to be a little bit better.
Faux show. And there's other things that we are going to announce today and discuss throughout this hour-long episode. So hopefully we don't forget the beeps, but we'll figure it out.
We probably will.
Yeah, it's fine.
But let's get the first one over here, bud.
All right, so we're going right to left?
Just going right to left.
Or left to right?
This is number 1. So this one is first, then we're just going to keep going towards the chalkboard.
All right, I numbered my page.
Cool. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So we don't know, so someone else poured these,
Correct.
not you or I.
Correct. Gina poured them. She was rushing home from school, and I'm like, hey, babe, real quick before you go to the gym, because you got to teach tonight, can you pour these for me, please? She's like, I should be getting paid for this. I'm like, me too, believe me.
You do, you got a roof
But-
over your head.
Yeah. So she was gracious enough to take time and pour these and then put them in the right order of how we're going to be looking at them, 1 to 5. So we'll just keep going from here.
Thank you, Gina.
Yeah, thank you, Gina. Appreciate you. Okay, first of all, have you been getting like random, like weird women friend requesting you on Facebook?
No, not at all. I've
Dude.
just been getting a lot of spam emails in our account that you might fall for and buy, so I immediately delete them.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to buy that. I've been getting like all these weird, like friend requests from like people I don't know. I have 0 mutual friends with, and their pictures like, come see me on dating.com. I'm like, all right. No, I'm just kidding. But it's just, I don't know who they're thinking that they're going to fool with this.
Well then, that was a wild ride. My eyes are watering, and that is a scotch. That has to be a scotch.
I don't think so.
I think it is on your side of the table. Oh my goodness. That's super intense.
Yeah, it's down to 2 right now for me.
All right. Well,
What are you getting? Why is it so intense for you?
that just whooped me, dude. Whooped me.
Explain it to the people.
There was a lot of peat, a lot of heat, and it coated the entire back of my throat. Like, did you ever, as a kid, not understand the power of Lay's salt and vinegar chips and finish the bag that you were eating? Like those little, those like lunch-size bags of chips? Mm-hmm. Well, did you ever put the bag over your mouth and then inhale really hard and let all of the salt and vinegar blast to the back of your throat and then you immediately cough? Did you ever do
No, I
that?
did
Or was
not.
that just a challenge that I did with my crazy
I think
friends?
that was just a challenge that you did.
Perfect. So that's basically what occurred when I drank this. It just shot to the back of my throat, coated it, and then I couldn't breathe, and then my eyes watered. Everything's fine.
So you're tasting just peat?
And heat initially, but there's obviously more, so wait one. A lot of wood sugar.
So for everybody that's listening,
What is this?
I'll tell you guys what we have. So coming from my end, we have Lafroig Select, Glenfiddich 14, Hatazaki, Aberlour 12, and then Clonakilty Cognac finish. So, like I said, 3 scotches, 1 Japanese whiskey, and 1 Irish whiskey. Now, for me, based off of what we know about scotch and what we know about the different types of scotches and different types of whiskey throughout the world, there are 2 on this table that use peat. Lafroig and Hatazaki. Hatazaki kind of uses peat, But Japanese whiskey, especially when this came out, there's some new regulations that just came out regarding Japanese whiskeys to be officially classified as a whiskey classification. But when this was released, when Hatazaki was released, they are a blending company. So when you're looking at Hatazaki, they take whiskey from throughout the world, blend them together to get a Japanese whiskey.
Yeah, they do what they want.
They could use Scotch in their process. And normally when you blend Scotch, it doesn't really make a ton of sense to blend it with a Speyside or a Highland because it doesn't have that much of a punchy characteristic. So mostly Japanese whiskeys have blended it with an Islay. So right now I'm going with between a Hatazaki and a Lafroig. I want to try the other ones to see which one. I'm not even going to finish this. I'm just going to sip on them. Nailed it. You just chugged it.
Wait, I'm not going to waste perfectly
Hato
good
or Lafroig.
Perfectly good juice.
All right, so what are we talking about today, Bod?
All right. We have some things to discuss on the shared Google Docs. First and foremost, we're going to hit analytics. So these analytics are facts because they're actual data displayed on graphs.
That's what I like about analytics.
So, our fact of the day. In 2 years, we have grown from 0 to 356 subscribers,
Whoop, whoop.
which is 100% organic. You can't, buy subscribers. So
You can, but we don't.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was an
You
option.
can, but if YouTube finds out about it, they'll shut down your channel.
How would you, what do you do? Buy bots?
Yeah. You buy bots to subscribe to your channel to get you to that 100 or 1,000 subscriber mark that YouTube wants you to get to in order to start paying you. And then the issue with that is, and I had somebody that I know do this. When you do that, if you're starting a YouTube channel, don't buy subscribers because it doesn't make sense. So when you're buying bots, they're not going to watch your content. And YouTube requires you to have not only 1,000 subscribers, but also 4,000 hours of watch time within 365 days. So when you buy 1,000 subscribers, they ain't watching anything. So you're not going to be monetized anyway. And YouTube's going to find out that your channel went from 10 subscribers to 2,000 subscribers overnight without a video upload. And they're going to be like, what the heck's going on? We're going to shut down this channel. So don't do that. It's not sustainable. You might get into the partnership program out of a whim, but then you'll immediately go back down because you can't sustain that much traction. It doesn't make any sense. Don't do it. We didn't do it. Don't do it. It doesn't make sense.
So we are at 356 currently. Once this airs, that may have gone up and or down based on I don't know, whatever.
So at the 2-year mark, what did you expect us to get to? What did you want us to get to? Are we underachieving or overachieving?
Under, but we're recently on an uptick, but I wanted to be surpassing 500 by now.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Slow growth is still growth, so I'm not being too poopy about it. Our average views per month is 1,300.
Which isn't bad. On YouTube, that's not bad. If you think of our subscriber count, so we have 356 subscribers.
They're loyal subscribers,
Correct.
basically.
Yeah, because that means we post per month about, 3 times
12.
a week? So 12. So they're watching all 12.
Yeah.
And we have people that are straggling and watching some videos.
Yeah.
We have some pretty loyal subscribers.
Thank you.
Which comes back to the fact that we didn't buy any of our subscribers. So the people who are subscribing to our channel want to be part of the community that we built. So again, do not buy subscribers. It doesn't make sense.
Total views, is this in total of 2 years?
Correct.
Okay, 25,000, which is insane.
Yeah.
So thank you for clicking on our videos because that is nuts that we've reached 25,000 total views. Total hours watched, I immediately thought a mega fan because I know how much time he's put into watching. 3,600 hours watched, and I want to know what our total hour upload time is. Because if somebody watches...
how many hours?
So how many
Watchable
hours
content
did
we have.
Megafan watch?
Well, if you think, so we've uploaded... I should have wrote this down. So we've done 104 episodes so far.
Yep.
Right now. So these numbers, obviously, we haven't even released the 103rd episode yet. So these will be going up or down depending on what category you're looking at. But for hours and views, it will be going up. So when you think about it, we have 102 episodes that went live. We have how many interviews that we've recorded so far. We've done 75 that are uploaded.
No, 79 is already uploaded.
79's already uploaded.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that was Christina.
So 79 plus 102 is 181. So 181, let's say, give or take our average. Can you do the calculation here really quick? Well, no, it's fine. We'll just do 60. Just make it easy. Not everything's an hour. We rarely go over an hour. But, so we have 181 total episodes uploaded. Also, the hour works because we've done Wednesday whiskey reviews and all that stuff too. So 181 times 60, 1 hour. So we have 181 hours of watchable content up.
Yeah. If not more, because we have over 300 videos posted on YouTube.
Yeah. So round up
clips
200. 200 hours of watch time. And we have 3,600 hours of watch time done.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Our most viewed video is RK Motorsports.
Yep.
So shout out to him.
917 views, bud.
That's nuts.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Longest watched video makes total sense. 200 hours worth is Garrett Thomas. He's a magician. I literally was nauseous during that interview because what he was doing made absolutely no sense to me, so I couldn't fathom it.
But that was a good episode. I mean, that was a longer one too. I think it was like an hour and 15 or something like that.
Yeah, but it was good.
But that was a stellar video, dude.
Yeah, it was good.
We killed it. That was, I mean, I am so happy that we were able to sit down with him in the first place. It was really cool that he was able to sit down with us and like take time out of his super busy life.
Yeah.
Like I teach David Blade tricks, but I'll sit down with a no-name podcast and just wow them for 5 minutes. It was very, very fascinating. If you haven't watched that, go back and check that out because that has to be one of my favorite interviews that we've done so far. Just from an engagement from not only our listeners that watched it, but you and I too. You and I were like asking questions right off the bat because we're like, what do you mean? How'd you do this? Like, it was a very engaging episode for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Probably except Garrett.
Yeah, he's probably just laughing at us, calling us clowns. So a lot of people are loyal to us outside of YouTube, which is totally fine. The stat that I'm getting to is 32% of views comes from external sites, not through YouTube. Of that 32%, 65% is directly from Facebook, which is nice. We tell people all the time, just from like an editing standpoint and like a production standpoint, the videos on YouTube are really cool to watch just because there's things that you're going to miss when it's audio only. So, like we say a lot, if you are new and you want to watch on TV, it's worthwhile. Especially, like, you're not going to pick it up on Spotify, but the, like, crazy hats that I'm wearing, our facial expressions throughout the episodes, me dropping stuff or throwing glasses all over the place and spilling liquor, like, there's a lot of things that are missed that we add. So, things to keep in mind moving forward from you guys' standpoint. Our channel lifetime, not subscribed versus subscribed. This is good. Not subscribed, we're at 72.8%. Subscribed, we're at 27.2%. The last 3 months, we're at 74.4% not subscribed and 25.7% subscribed.
So we're going the wrong direction is what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah, which it's the wrong direction, but also the right direction because it's showing growth.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That people outside of who are subscribed are watching. But
which is what I'm convinced people who are not subscribed but are watching due to the businesses and the work that we're doing with them. So that's good, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then support us as well as a business and subscribe to our channel.
So subscribe to our channel. Exactly.
Podcast platforms. Total plays. So this is like Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts.
Yeah, so we use Anchor, which is our distribution platform. Now, there are some potential data errors that can occur when you're dealing with a podcast hosting platform and not getting this data directly from the podcasting sites. So from what I've seen, these numbers are significantly lower than what are actual because Anchor is owned by Spotify, so there might be some errors with getting the data directly from Apple when people watch it on Apple Podcasts, which we'll get to, is one of our most it's the platform that most of our listeners prefer over Spotify. So when you're getting into these data, this data is significantly lower than what we normally are at because of the whole interconnection between different sites. But this is just a guideline just to see of who is watching from where and like how much time is being watched based off this small subset of data. Okay. So this is mostly just Spotify for the most part.
Okay. So total plays. 14,500. That's solid. Listening platform breakdown, Apple Podcast 67%, like what you said.
Yeah, so you could probably bet that 50% of that is not reported accurately to Anchor for reporting purposes.
So we're larger than what this is showing.
Correct.
Spotify 10%, Podcast Addict 4%.
Which I
and
didn't
then
even know that was a site.
Same.
Who
and
uses Podcast Addict? Get out of here. No, just kidding. Bring your friends.
Yeah, subscribe. Other is 19%.
Yeah.
So we are listened to in 47 states and 37 countries. Most notable states are New York, Washington, California, and New Jersey.
Washington? Why Washington?
No idea, but I'm all about it.
Yeah.
End to end, bro.
Yeah, we got we just need Florida in the top, and we got the four corners.
Yeah, we're all set.
Hell yeah.
The countries most notable, this has to be from the Army.
So we're in 37 countries.
Yeah, we're in 37 countries, but most notable are the U.S. of Kuwait, the U.K., and Canada.
Yep.
That's okay. So random, but it's
There's
about
some weird countries in there too, like Iran and Iraq for some reason. So I guess that we're just super popular with those people.
Mega fan might have been doing some nighttime ops, and he's like, "New episode posted. Let me just pull security right quick." So ridiculous. And then it's about 1,000 plays per month.
Yeah.
So we're growing. We're doing good things. We appreciate any and all support. If you are new, please subscribe. And thank you, everyone, for enjoying this journey with us, because without you guys, we would still be here, but we would be pretty lonely.
Yeah, really.
So, but yes. And the reason why I say we would still be here is because, yes, we do this for you guys, but I don't know. I think we just need an excuse to hang out and leave the wives alone for a little bit so we can get out of their hair.
Yeah.
So round 2, and then we will dive into the next discussion point for the episode.
Yeah.
All right, nose. Woof.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, with the first one, you were picking up a little peat, which was off-putting to you, but underneath that was a lot of fruit, ripe fruit, like peach, strawberry, berries. It was a lot of ripe fruit underneath. So, if I was to guess, the first one is Hatazaki. Lighthouses, they're necessary.
Yeah.
The first one is Hatazaki. The second one is Lafroig. That's my guess, because this one is very peaty, but also very dense and very smoky. You feel like you got fungus in your mouth. What are you getting?
All right.
Tell the people.
I am getting the earth notes, and fungus is a way to say it. However, I'm still grossed out from the first conversation we had, and now we're adding fungus to it. So myself and Autumn Leaf are about to go to the bathroom and relinquish ourselves of whatever's in our stomach.
Ew.
It's so gross. Oh, now you say ill? That's where you draw the line? It's so gross. You do get the smoke and the typical Islay Scotch notes. I'm not convinced that it's Lafroig 10 though.
What do you think it is?
It might be this guy.
I am so mad that you finished your Hatazaki, because now that I go back to this, try this. Just try a sip of it. And how light.
How do you know it's Hatazaki?
Because I can figure it out. I'm a man. No. Just try it. Because this is so light and refreshing and compared to...
Am I allowed to drink this? Are you able to go to a Bills game?
No, I'm not. We'll talk about it. Just kidding. We won't, because I'll literally stop this podcast right now.
Well, the first time I had this, I wasn't a fan.
Now you like it.
let's tone it down,
Settle down
Derek.
here.
Settle down.
That's very light now, isn't it? That peat is like non-distinguishable.
I know, Derek.
So what are you going with the first two?
I'm going to go Hatzazaki and then Lafroig. And Arbalor 12, I don't think we've had yet.
Yeah. All right. So our next topic point. Where do you want to be this next year? Let's kind of look.
Not poor? I don't...
Let's just look at because this is an interesting question that I want to bring up and get your input on. Because, yes, we've changed a lot within the past 2 years and we've grown.
Yeah.
But I think that if you're looking at a graph, because we were just talking about analytics, our growth from a personal standpoint, you're just chugging these, bro. You're not saving these for comparison at all. Comparisons for the birds. So when you talk about like growth in our podcast, I feel like it was like this, like a straight line, like a steady increase
For like 7 months?
for the first, probably 7 months. And then it started going up a little bit, like around the year mark.
Yeah, and then you flipped out.
And then I flipped out, yeah.
You were so excited.
Yeah. And then we have been tapering, like steadily going back, like not an increase anymore. We kind of plateaued a little bit. But then within the past like month, we've seen maybe not necessarily growth, but from our standpoint and the direction we want the podcast to go, now it's like straight up.
Yeah, it looks like a bell curve.
Because, well, hopefully not, because that means it'll come back down. But it goes straight up.
It starts great, you know?
It starts great. There's going to be an eventual decline. Everybody. Just know that. We're going to go downhill sometime. So I think, from my standpoint, just viewing what you and I have done, we've done very similar things for the first 20 months of this podcast.
Yeah.
And then this past 2 months, revamped this entire thing.
2 to 4 months, yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen with the next year?
Well, I'm always
Or what do you
optimistic.
expect? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always optimistic. So I think it's definitely going to show some growth. I think it's just going to attract a totally different audience, and we're going to be hitting different markets. Our network is consistently growing every week, which is really cool because it used to be a monthly couple contacts here and there, but now every week we're involved in different conversations and different avenues, and it's just different. Everything is different. So I'm excited to see how this whole thing plays out.
Do you have a milestone in which you want to hit subscriber amount for?
Yeah, I mean, I really, by middle of 2022, we should surpass 1,000 subs. If not, like it's okay, but it's still kind of like frustrating because we just want to grow, you know? So, but either way, we're not going to stop. Like, it is what it is.
Right.
But we always have goals and we always work, and that's what we work for. That's what brings us back to this table, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, and then, yeah, I mean, if we can have consistent watch time, which I think we will just from a content basis alone, just because we're doing totally different things, then it'll work out. But it's just, people don't understand the amount of hours behind the scenes for everything. So it's more work, it's more time, but it'll pay off, and it's just fun to create content for people to watch that's enjoyable.
Do you think we're right before the break, or do you think there's still going to be some grinding to do?
I think there's still some grinding, but we're about to level off. I think we're off the runway, basically, if we're a plane, and now we're just gaining altitude to then level off and start coasting to our destination. But it's going to be a long flight. I'm not going to say it's like Buffalo to Philly where it's an hour and a half, you know? So... But
big part about that and getting to that next step is you guys watching. So if you can do us a favor, share this with somebody that you know. Right now, like we just talked about in our analytics section, we have a solid base of our normal people that are watching these episodes, and we're very thankful for them. But if we want to reach that next level to exponentially grow this podcast, we need your guys' help to share this episode, share some content that we've done, share an interview that you liked, share Garrett's interview that you liked, or some interview that you've seen us do that you were very excited about. Share that with some of your friends. Let them know what we're doing here and help us out, which is kind of going to this next point that we can touch on, but I kind of want to have a third one before we do that.
Okay.
But yeah, so you think that we're on a steady path and we're going to get there. It's just going to take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I like it. I agree.
I agree.
So Now, technically speaking, if we were to redo this tasting, obviously it's a random tasting, so we can't redo it, but we probably shouldn't have started with the most peatiest whiskeys out of all three, or out of all five.
Well, that's what
It
happened.
just destroyed our palate.
We did that before multiple times. We never learned from our mistakes. We just crushed, dude.
Well, this is random, so we didn't really have a choice. What are you tasting?
Thin compared to what we just ate. Because we didn't drink it, we ate it. The second one was thick.
Yeah, it was. We destroyed our palates. I can't taste anything right now. All right, so I'm smelling a little fruit note.
There's definitely fruit. And that's what's bringing in that sweetness and that little bit of sugar. Outside of that, man, my palate's roasted.
I'm thinking that this is Clonakilty because
It's gotta be.
I'm smelling that cognac cask. So when you're smelling cognac is a form of brandy which is made from grapes, which is basically a variety of wine out in the cognac region of France. So when you're looking at cognac, you are smelling notes of grape, green grape, like skins, kind of dry, a little tanniny because of that skin. But with Irish whiskey, you predominantly get a lot of vanilla notes to it as well. And it's also going to be lacking a lot of traditional bourbon notes because when you're looking at Irish and Scotch and Japanese, actually, all of them, they're using oak. They're using barrels that have already been used by a different distillery. So what that means is when you have bourbon and when you have whiskey, in the United States, it's required to use a new char oak barrel. When you're looking at Irish whiskey and Scotch, they don't have that same requirement. So you can use an ex-bourbon barrel to age your product in. So that really oaky taste is not going to be very prominent when you're looking at Scotches and Irish whiskeys because of that aspect. So what are you tasting? You're just destroying all these, bro.
What do you want me to do? Save them?
Yeah.
Why?
Savor. Comparison, bro.
We are comparing. And we're drinking at the same time. You went into business with an Irishman. If you expect me to leave liquid in a glass, you're wrong. That's like me asking you to leave sauce after your pasta meal.
I do not. I soak it up with bread. So, what do you think this is?
It's Clonakilty. That's the only thing I wrote. There's no other option. It's got to be.
Why?
Nothing else on this table is that thin. The only thing that may be close is Glenfiddich 14. And I'm just convinced it's Clonakilty.
Why do you... So, remember, too, though, when you're talking about it being thin, it could be your mind tricking you because of how thick this last one was. So, does that change your perception at all on this?
This is Clonakilty 100%.
Okay.
Final answer.
Okay.
No.
Do you want to phone a friend?
No, no lines. I just keep saying no like I'm about to get pegged. No.
I feel like Joe Biden over here.
You know, the thing. All right. So this brings us to the next aspect of the good stuff.
So, we are here at our 2-year birthday to announce to you something new that we're doing. And we want to let you guys know that this is not a beg for help. This is not a help us out because we don't make any money. This is a way that you and I can help involve the listeners of the show in a different way that we couldn't do before. So, with that being said, we are officially announcing our Patreon. How fun, bro.
Ridiculous.
How fun.
So
2 years in, we feel like this is a good spot for us to announce this because this is the way that we want to continue to support small businesses for free. That's our whole mission statement here. Our whole mission statement is to support small businesses for free. We can do that by us donating our time, which we do, to record these interviews with small businesses and to talk to them about their whole business model and get the story directly from them, but not charge them. There's marketing companies throughout Buffalo that will charge small businesses for their promotion, which we're not about. You can do a tier-based approach where you charge Resurgence Brewery a different price than you would charge Christina West, but it doesn't make sense for us to do that because people sometimes don't have a marketing budget, and it's not fair for us to charge these businesses for us to just go and talk basically their ear off, have no real stress on our end because we're not charging them or anything, and we just want to have a conversation to learn, and we didn't feel like that should be charged. There are some different avenues where we can charge businesses for promotional videos and other stuff outside of the interview, which we're doing now with this whole new process that we're doing. But in order to keep us not charging businesses and to keep providing you guys with more content, we've decided to basically release our Patreon.
So there's 5 Patreon options.
Yep.
So the first one...
What's the first one, Mike?
Is called Sir, I'll Take a Cocktail.
So, Sir, I'll Take a Cocktail. This is a $3 a month tier. And we decided to start at $3 because $3 is a coffee. Literally one coffee for a month.
Unless you're in, like, Long Island, and then that's like I don't even know what you can get in Long Island for $3, but probably just a hey, how are you?
So one coffee a month if you're in the Buffalo area, because that's primarily where a lot of our market is. So if you don't go to Tim Hortons for one morning out of the month and you decide to help us, this is what you get. So it says, you're a supporter of the show. Literally, we appreciate you more than you know. You understand the importance of starting a small business and working for yourself and want to help us reach that goal. You're officially one of our friends. ABV, which we cleverly named as all benefits valued, get it, because whiskey, ABV, proof, nailed it. The benefits of this are being our friend, kind of cool, right? I mean, we like to be friends with everybody, but we just can't. But you being a part of our Patreon, now you're our friend, and we know your name. The second benefit to that is the name in our end screen is being a part of our official happy hour crew. So at the end of each video, we're going to have a running list of all of our patrons, which probably won't be utilized for like the first 12 months, but we'll have a running list of all of our patrons.
Just a black screen.
Yeah. Just a sad face. No friends yet. A running list of all of our patrons in each different group, just to, again, let you guys know that we truly care about you, and let all of our supporters and all of our listeners know who helps supporting that show. So,
and from an OPSEC standpoint, because we talked about it during our 100th episode, if you want something specifically displayed other than first name, last name, let us know, like Mega Fan or Autumn Leaf or something other than your actual first and last name. Just let us know and we can do that.
Just if you do join the Patreon, make sure you message us that, because I don't think there's an option for that. So you have to directly message us through Patreon. Michael, what's the second tier, bud?
So the second tier, Derek, is I'll Take It on the Rocks, Please.
Hell yeah. So we decided to name these in basically order of punishment if you're new to the whiskey world. So the first step is obviously you're going to try whiskey in a cocktail, because that's the best way to get introduced to whiskey without being very slapped in the face with all the whiskey flavors and all the proof. The second is obviously on the rocks, because you want it watered down, you want it cooled down to where it's going to dilute the flavors, but you're not introducing soda, you're not introducing lemon juice. It's a more pure form of whiskey, and it'll just keep escalating from here. So I'll Take It on the Rocks, Please is $5 a month. So we're talking about like what? Two coffees?
Not even, just an extra large coffee.
So this says, step up from the cocktails. You understand that other ingredients in your drink dilute the whiskey flavor. On the Rocks is perfect if you like the taste of whiskey, but sometimes it's just too strong. You want to help us grow this podcast and get some benefits in return. The ABV of this is obviously all the benefits from the previous perks. So you're talking about that being our friend and also the name mentioned in the end screen. But also you get access to the Monday and Wednesday episodes or uploads a week early. So instead of, Mike and I have talked about this, we record all of our episodes 2 weeks in advance. So if you want episodes or access to our episodes that are released a week early, we'll have a direct link to the unlisted video on YouTube where you can just watch it or listen to it at your convenience a week ahead of time before the general public gets to listen to it, which is a pretty cool perk, if I do say so myself. And then also you're notified of the whiskey that we will be drinking on the next episode a week prior, so you can submit your own Wednesday whiskey review notes to us. We will talk about your notes as well as ours in our next review. So if we're reviewing Lafroig next week, we will put a post on our Patreon for you to be able to see that says, next week we're going to be reviewing Lafroig. If you have access to it or you want to kind of chime in with us, Go get it. Send us your notes, and we'll talk about it in the Wednesday Whiskey Review in a section that we'll be dedicating directly to the patrons.
Boom.
Kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
Are you a Patreon supporter of any other podcast?
Negative.
I am.
Okay.
I love it. I think it's a cool way to support podcasts. That's not like tips, you know?
Right.
Like, I think it's sweet.
Well, I have to buy ethanol-free gas for my lawnmower, and that comes first.
Jesus. All right. Well, I guess we don't support us then. Get ethanol-free gas for your lawnmower, nerds.
So the third tier is I'll take it neat, keep it low proof.
So again, elevating that next aspect. You don't want the rocks in there because you know that water dilutes the flavor too, but going neat with 110 proof whiskey will kind of burn you if you're not used to it. So give it to me neat, but keep it around 80, 85 proof. Let's get used to this first. So, you getting fancy, huh? You're done with the ice. Too much water is detrimental to your whiskey and really dilutes the flavor. Your first drink without ice is a nice 80 proof bourbon. First few drams will be rough, but you'll grow to like it.
Correct.
The ABV on this is On the Rocks perks, obviously, so everything from On the Rocks as well as cocktail perks you'll get. And then also with this, you'll get a free t-shirt and a sticker at your yearly anniversary. So we're going to create merchandise that is Buffalo Happy Hour Crew 1 year, or Buffalo Happy Hour Crew 2 years, or obviously it's still in development, but that's what we're thinking, is we're going to give you a shirt on your yearly anniversary so you can commemorate all the months that you've supported us in a yearly mark and just be a part of our community for more than just like getting the episodes early. You actually get a piece of merchandise that's only going to be available to our patrons.
And this is how much?
$10 a month.
Boom.
So what, like 3 coffees? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do this for what, like 75 coffees? But yeah, so $10 a month. I spend $55 a month on my Short Pot 4 subscription, so I could probably take some of that down and start supporting my own podcast. But yeah, we're not trying to break the bank with you guys. We're not going to throw out a $4,000 tier and be like, you can come hang out with us. Like, that's not what's going to happen. We want to keep this. We developed these tiers with you and I in mind. Like, you wouldn't want to support a podcast for $100 a month. You wouldn't want to support a podcast for $200 a month. So we wanted to have tiers that are available for everybody to be able to contribute and not feel like they're draining their savings by supporting us. That's not what this is about. This is for you guys to help us continue to grow, to buy new equipment, to buy new lenses, to do all this stuff, but also get some stuff in return. And we didn't want to bankrupt you guys in doing that. So we try to keep these tiers as low as possible. Before we dive into number 3, let's
number 4.
Number 4. Let's take another whiskey here.
Beep.
Yikes, sorry, Sean. 44 minutes. Flying through this episode, bro. We had a lot to talk about.
Why does this taste like sugar water? I got my pick.
All right, so talk everybody through it. What do you got?
Sugar water, bro. It's really thin, but it's super easy to drink, which leads me to it's longer in age. My pick is Glenfiddich 14. What I'm getting is a little bit of wood sugar on the nose, some honey, and it's just super light. Like there's almost no ethanol in this on the nose.
Again, it could be because we've destroyed our palates, but we're kind of cheating a little bit.
How are we cheating?
I'm kind of cheating a little bit.
How?
Because up there, I see that one of the whiskeys that we reviewed is in this sample, which I didn't know about. And I was calling it because I think that it is it, but I think this is Abelur. Abelur is very sugary. It has an apple note to it, but you can also taste a little bit of peat. It's a younger, it's a 12-year-old whiskey, but this is double cask matured, so it's going to be very, very smooth. All the charcoal in the casks are going to separate a lot of those flavors and make it smoother. So I'm going with Abelur here. If you want to go Glenfiddich, go Glenfiddich, but I'm going Abelur.
Crushed.
What'd you go with?
Glenfiddich's my first choice.
Okay. So let's go with our fourth tier.
Fourth tier, ladies and gentlemen. It is called Give Me the Heat. I Can Take It.
So again, we're just upgrading you. You're done with this 80 proof stuff. You're going to the high proof stuff, which is probably not a good idea because it wasn't when we did. And it's a slippery slope from there because as soon as you start doing that, you start doing cocaine. I mean, just kidding. You start then going and you and I have talked about this multiple times. Our preferred proof point is 110 proof. Above that, that's what we like to drink because we can get the complexities within that 110 proof because we're very correct, but we're acclimated to the alcohol content. So you're at this point where you're like, you know what, I'm going to up it a little bit. So graduation day, you have now risen to the point where you like your whiskey at least 100 proof. Sure, sometimes it might feel like there's a hole in your stomach, but totally worth it because barrel strength, bro.
Correct. Be a man.
So the ABV of this one is 80 proof neat perks. So everything in the tiers before, you get the t-shirt, you get your name in the ending call, you get weekly episodes a week early, you get all that stuff. But you also get quarterly hangs where we have Zoom Skype meetings and taste whiskey and talk about our ratings, whiskey questions, and any other questions you may have. So this is more of an interactive tier. It's $25. But what we're doing is every quarter, we will send out a Zoom link for you guys to join, for us to just have a conversation, to be friends, to elevate that interaction between us to that next level. We want to provide you guys with an opportunity to get to know us. You can ask any question that you want. We can talk whiskey for hours because we know so much about whiskey. We can do themed quarterly sessions where we look at Isla whiskey and we all try to get a bottle of the same whiskey and talk about it. We can do just open Q&As where you ask us literally anything that we want. That's what you get with this tier, is these quarterly hangs where we can just chill out and bro out.
Boom.
Boom, nailed it. All right, last tier, bro. What do we got?
Isla Scotch Neat.
You're ridiculous. No one likes Isla Scotch Neat except for me.
I mean, I've grown to appreciate it. It's
so this
taken
says,
me forever.
This says, okay, chill out. Like 6 people in the world like Isla Scotch Neat. Also, why are you paying us $50 a month? We literally have no idea what we're doing.
This is basically, we were like, let's just go all out and see who is actually willing to do it.
And we know that. That's why we named this tier that. But we wanted to give that option to people if they really, like, even if a business owner that we've interviewed likes us that much, that has the money to donate, because we haven't charged them for anything. Correct. We wanted to give an option for that type of aspect. And we openly acknowledge that no one's going to do this. It's going to be like 6 people, maybe at our prime when we're famous. It's going to be like 4 people. But anyway, I'm just kidding. So the ABV with this is obviously all the perks that we've listed between the last 4 tiers. But also you're going to be entered into winning a single barrel bottle signed by us at every single barrel release. So when we do these single barrels, we are doing one right now with 3-quart bourbon. You will be entered to win a bottle of it. We'll throw all the names in the hat from this tier, which is going to be like 0 people, so Mike and I are going to have it. But we're going to throw all the names in the hat for this bottle, and we're going to give you the single barrel, regardless of who it's with. If it's with a 3-quart, if it's with Hartman's, if it's with a Scotch company, when we get up there, we're selling these for hundreds of dollars. It doesn't matter. You're part of this group, so no matter what the MSRP is, we're going to give it to you for free for being a part of this tier. We just want to be able to provide something above and beyond a t-shirt, and we're going to try to do these single barrels more frequently than we do now. Obviously, it's hard for us to do a lot of them now. This is our first one that we're doing with 3-quart, but I think eventually you and I are going to want to do one every quarter or something like that. So if that's the case, if we're doing single barrels more frequently than once every 2 years, you can have a potential to make a ton of money in bourbon if you're in this tier and you get to support us, but also get a chance to win 4 bottles a year from us. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that is our Patreon, guys. So again, this isn't a call for help. This isn't anything. If we don't get any patrons, it doesn't matter to us at all. We're not in this for the money. We are just in this to be able to provide you guys an avenue to support the podcast directly rather than just watching. So if you're interested in any of these tiers, again, they range from $50 to $3 with a ton of perks included. If you have ideas of perks that you want to do, if some godforsaken reason someone's like, I want to donate $100, and with that, I want you guys to fly me out. Just kidding. That's not going to happen. But
correct, because airfare is very high and fuel is low. So.
But regardless, if you have some feedback for us on these tiers, we will listen to them. I can't guarantee you that we'll implement them, but there could be some good ideas out there because, like we've said before, Mike and I are not that creative. So we try to have so much fun with this. And if you want to support us, go to our link tree in our Instagram. It's going to be the first link there. You can sign up for a Patreon. It's very easy and it's very secure. Patreon's been a company that's been around for a while. They have not had a breach for credit card data and all that stuff. So it's very, very secure. If you do feel like supporting us, go there, and it would be greatly appreciated. And then you'd be one of our friends, and you'd be invited into the happy hour crew.
That's what I'm saying.
Who knows? Maybe we'll do quarterly happy hour sessions for anyone local. I don't know.
Options are endless.
Hell yeah. All right.
Last one.
Running out of room, bro.
All right, all right.
Oh, I know what this is right off the bat. Glenfiddich all day.
You think?
Oh yeah. You got a lot of apple, but you can taste a lot of that bourbon barrel. So Glenfiddich 14, this is the blue one right here. And this is a bourbon barrel reserve. So it's aged 14 years, but it's also finished in American oak bourbon barrel. So you still get that traditional Speyside apple, no peat, beautiful taste to it, but you get that underlying oak, vanilla, heavy like Maker's Mark, Jim Beam type bourbon taste at the ending note. So this one easy for me is Glenfiddich 14.
I'm with you.
All right, so for everybody paying attention to us, we have number 1, we decided is Hatazaki, 2, Lefroy Select, 3, Clonakilty, 4, I have Abelor. What did you have?
I was thinking Glenfiddich,
Oh, okay.
but I think you're right.
Okay. So 4, we have Abelor, and then 5, we have Glenfiddich.
Yeah.
So let's look at the sheet that Gina wrote, and hopefully we didn't get all these wrong. Kind of nerve-wracking.
Of course it is. It's like another test.
All right, so we're going to go in reverse order.
All right.
5, Glenfiddich.
All right, boom.
Nailed it. 4, Abelor. Look at that. So far, we're going good. 3, Clonakilty.
Nailed it.
Boy,
Nailed
killed it. 2, Lefroy. 1, Hatazaki. Boom.
There it is.
Hell
There
yeah.
it is.
Love
nice
that.
job, dude. Let's go.
Were you nervous coming into here?
I'm always nervous, dude. I'm always nervous.
At the 52nd episode, one of my favorite comments that you made was like, I'm more nervous taking this than I was a test in school.
Correct. I do get test anxiety, which is crazy because I'm a perfectionist, so I just get nervous. But it's all good.
So if you had to rate them, which one was your favorite, which one's your least favorite? So take these 5
Yeah, I would.
and put them in order of your favorite.
All right, so Glenfiddich.
Is your number 1?
Yeah.
What's number 2?
Abelor. 3 is Clonakilty. I would go,
Hatazaki is 4 for you.
yeah, and then Lefroy.
So mine would be... I'm actually pleasantly surprised with how Hatazaki is. We haven't had that one in a very long
time.
And that is actually very good.
Now.
I'm kind of surprised with how good that is. So my first one is Abelor. I love Abelor. It's my favorite Speyside outside of Balvenie. They're very, very good. Number 2 would be Glenfiddich because actually Glenfiddich is the parent company of Balvenie, so they're just very, very good. 3 would actually be Lefroy because I have very like high peated stuff. So 3 would be my Lefroy. 4 would be Clonakilty for me, and then 5 would be Hatazaki. I do love all of these though. I was pleasantly surprised with every single one of them, especially in compared to when we had Lefroy so early on and how much it destroyed our palate.
Yeah. It was like 40 figs just crushing your mouth.
But yeah, man, happy 2 years.
Happy 2 years, dude. I'm excited for the
wild.
next 2.
It's wild.
2-year increments.
We were just talking about this a couple episodes ago. We can't stop.
No, not now.
We're 2 years in. There's no way that, even if nobody would care if we stopped, we can't do it.
No.
We're too far in. We're too invested.
Yes. Yes. It's too much of a routine of our life. Not like it's routine, but it's part of our routine.
I told you, man, when you were gone, I was sad. I don't have anything to do. Had to spend time with Gina. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Colleen and I have been talking about that. She literally just texted me on the way here, and she goes, "This is the longest we've been apart since September 3rd. How are you doing?" I was like, "I'm honestly miserable. Like, this sucks. I do miss you." That was the first time we've ever spent 9 straight days together, all day together, alone, with no distractions. It was amazing.
Have you gone on vacation before?
Yeah, but there was always like family
gotcha.
because it was like Maine. So
Sure.
there's other people there, but to travel international with your wife and then just be alone with no dog, nothing. I mean, it was just, she had no cell service. It was great. The whole thing was just amazing. But yeah, highly recommend you travel with your significant other as much as possible to anybody out there.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been 2 years, and we couldn't have asked for a better fan base. You guys have been super loyal, as we talked about with the analytics, and that's really the main reason why we wanted to bring that up, because we want to let you know that we do notice you. We are paying attention to the analytics, and we are very, very, very appreciative of every single one of you that has been following us from the beginning.
Including you, Jamie.
Correct, including you, Jamie. So thank you for everybody. Please continue to support us. We are not going anywhere. We're going to continue to put out some amazing content for you guys. We have literally everywhere to go from here. We're completely revamping our channel, but sticking to our roots, which is important at the same time. We're going to be providing you with additional content, but also content that you're familiar with. So it's not going to be a change. It's just going to be an improvement, which is very important. If you're interested in supporting us through our Patreon, please go to our Instagram and our link tree and click on the first link to Patreon. Again, it starts as low as $3 and it goes up to $50 if you're really interested in being a crazy nerd. But honestly, if you think about it, it's probably only like 10 coffees a month, so it's really not that big of a deal. But thank you all for everything. Really appreciate it. Michael, do you have anything else to add?
Just our tagline, because I don't know if you know this, but we got meetings to go to because apparently people want to work with us.
Yeah, what time is it?
I don't
It's
know.
5 o'clock. We're fine.
Dude.
We're sloshed. Just kidding. We're not. Actually, this is a good time to plug our tagline. So please remember to drink responsibly, be a good person, and Michael,
Do not litter.
we're out.